Is it in Jerusalem? Is it in Bethlehem? Is it in Nasir? What are you talking about? Where is the grave of John the Baptist? Is it under the dome of the Umayyad Mosque in Damascus? So please study the history more and get some education.
Okay, I'm trying to say everybody interrupting.
So why when the suicide bomber killed innocent people, included kids, they use God's name?
Can I finish with my...
You can't, that's political.
No, it's a political.
That is political.
It's reality. It's reality.
Mr. Imam, okay, I want to follow through my questions. Okay, the country I know, I have a little bit of knowledge, is Saudi Arabia, because they are everywhere. But why is not in there?
I just answered you. I am not from Saudi Arabia.
If Islam is so great, you should accept.
If there is no people there, what do you have to have the church for?
Listen,
let's be reasonable. If you are going that path, let me be reasonable with you, and please open your mind and listen carefully.
I am open-minded.
Please listen carefully then. You and everybody else. And unfortunately, we don't listen but what we want to listen. Listen carefully.
Why are you talking to a woman? You are not in the Middle East, you are in America. I don't understand you. I really don't understand you. She's a woman.
I think you are a woman too, and if you listen, you will understand me too. I'm sorry to repeat myself twice, but that's enough. If you don't want to, I'll go home. I am telling you to listen in the sense that if that's your attitude, it's okay.
What do you want to say?
Ma'am, I am telling you that it's been all over the Islamic world.
He's talking to me, sir.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I'm giving respect, and I think it's needed mutual respect. We're all human beings.
Okay.
I like the truth. Only truth will set you free. That's all I can say.
I gave you the criteria of the questions. Please have a seat. Go ahead.
All right.
Yes, I just would like to know the spiritual significance of Ramadan, if I say that right?
Right.
And so I can know how that holiday, Muslim holiday, relates to any Jewish holiday and similar.
We believe that God revealed to all prophets that aspect of fasting. And I think in Judaism there is, of course, requirements for fasting. But in the Islamic fasting for the whole month really train you a lot, if you wish, and discipline the person internally and externally. Internally and physically, you will be much more deprived from many things otherwise allowed. Yet, water, drinking, food, and other activities are not supposed to be done in the day of Ramadan when we are fasting. And that humbles the person and bring him back to his essence, which is a creation of God. On the other hand, it makes you feel toward those people who have less than you, and those who are deprived for some reason or another, like the people who are suffering from the floods in Pakistan, famine in Africa, and maybe other embargo in different places. So you will have more feeling toward all those people, whether they belong to you or not, whether they are of the same faith or not. Any human being that is suffering, any human being that is hungry, any human being that is not having enough to survive is another human being, and you feel toward them, and hopefully at the end you'll be better human being to help others and to help yourself as well.
I respectfully have a question.
I have one question.
Can I respect?
You know what I'm going to do?
I respectfully have a question. I think it's my
This
turn.
gentleman has a question. No, it's not your turn.
Sorry.
Really,
Sir?
Islam and Judaism are friends.
Yes, sir.
They can live together. Why in 1979, when Islamic revolution in Iran happened, why so many Jews they were executed? Why 200,000 Jews they had to leave the country? Why we have got 80,000 of them in Southern California? If Jews and Islam, they are thinking the same, why? Can you have an answer?
Sir, I'm not going to let him answer that. That's political.
It's okay.
Please ask.
Oh, no.
Say whatever you want.
You don't have to answer.
Robert, I want to tell the brother here, I am not from Iran.
It's a
but
religion.
I am not from Iran. I am not Shiites. I am not going to defend anybody, anything, doing whether it's in Iran or Saudi Arabia or Pakistan.
You're a Muslim.
But I'm telling you that political entities, governments and organizations and maybe groups, they use anything they want to justify their objectives and their goals. whether it's the government of Iran, the Shiites, they have killed of their own people more than what they killed of the Israelis or the Jewish people.
They are Muslim.
And they are Muslims, and they had a war between Iraq and Iran.
They are Muslims.
Yeah, a couple million people died in that war. So it is not like something I'm here to justify this Ayatollah or president or dictators doing. This is not our standard. This is not what the religion is about.
That was about the Sharia law.
No, that's another question.
That is about the Sharia law. That is exactly, they implemented the Sharia law. That is why the miniskirt came to the burqa. That is the Sharia law, sir.
Let me tell you briefly, my friend here. If you want, I could come another time and divide your anger and your questions. Maybe every month I can come and answer a few questions.
No, thank you.
Until we talk a little more while you are calm.
We have a lot.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, okay. Another one. It's okay.
No, this is not. This is I think a fair question. Since you're thinking of opening up a mosque here in Temecula, and since we're all members of this greater community, we want to know whether you said you were having people coming from all over to come to your mosque for praying, and since you're a spiritual leader, will you be teaching them to respect and love their fellow religions? Will you be teaching them that jihad, that terrorism, is wrong? Will you be condemning them that publicly in your teachings to the Muslims?
Thank you for your understanding. You're trying to say that people coming from all over just to worship here. No, I'm saying that people immigrated for whatever reason they come, for business, for life, for housing, for whatever reason happen to be. Otherwise, this valley have probably few families, Muslim families. But for the last 12 years, people, due to the economic situation, I think it's the house bubble, as you know, people sold their homes in Orange County or San Diego and moved here for better housing. The idea is that we've grown into out of our size, and we need our place, and we have our land, and we will build. What we are going to teach them is what goes along with the Islamic teaching in principles. We are mainstream Muslim Sunni. We are mainstream Muslim Sunni American citizen. So we are American Muslims and hardworking people like here, like everybody else. If you don't like that, then like whatever you want. This is a free country, and that's why you are in America. And we exercise our rights like everybody else, respectfully and with honor. We do have friends from, believe it or not, from all sectors and level of the Jewish community, and from the Christian communities, and from all communities. And if you don't believe it, then just take your time, and until we finish the building, maybe we'll invite you all to join us.
Will you condemn terrorism, though? And
terrorism is condemned, and in the paper I gave you here, that we condemn this paper, and please make it available for whoever wants to take it. In brief, we said that here, and written, and it's all over. It is really pity that throughout, since like 9/11 at least, and before, we condemn, most of us actually, for so many people who came in this country, running away from terrorism in their countries. Whether it's Iraq or Lebanon or Syria or Egypt or all those dictators and governments, you think that they are Muslim people? They are not. They are dictators of their own. Everybody have their own sects and parties and groups. So people who came in here, they came for the freedom and for the right to practice their religion. I tell you here in brief that Islam condemns all forms of terrorism and all forms of terrorism and all forms of injustices. Human dignity, freedom and rights are God-given values that cannot be given to some and deprived others for any reason. So terrorism is being condemned publicly, privately, in writing, in demonstrations throughout the world by Muslim leaders and so forth. If you are counting on those one, or probably way less than 1%, or any fraction of percentage of terrorist group who waging political wars for their own ends, you know, I am not responsible for that.
Can you name it, please?
Pardon me?
Can you name those the main organizations that the terrorists?
Well, let me tell you that. Oh yes, yes, of course. We do not collectively, from A to Z, agree with what Al-Qaeda is doing. What maybe other organizations